The most amazing chart on Social Security you'll ever see. Every time I see this, I ponder if I've done enough to help people retire, because this is just amazing to me, and it should be to you. So on my other channel, my main channel, Heritage Wealth Planning, I just posted a video that only 20% of retirees have a probability of success. And the premise of that, or the premise would be that the vast majority of you guys are going to die well before you're 90. Well before you're 90. And so when we're running these retirement planning scenarios, we assume that you live to 90, even though the vast majority don't. And we're shooting for, a 75% probability of success. And if we can get a 75% probability of success of you not running out of money before you're 90, we're pretty comfortable. But you're not going to live to your 90. Again, some will, the vast majority won't. And that flows into this chart right here, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Remember, have you ever heard of mud bogs? Oh, dude. So when I was in the Army, all these guys, because the infantry is mostly just white rednecks, man. That's all there is to it. There's a couple of black guys, a couple of Spanish guys, more Spanish guys than black guys, a couple of guys from Guam and stuff, but mostly just white rednecks. It's freaking awesome. Anyway, they take these like 4x4 Broncos and other kind of trucks and go into this backwoods where there just be this mud hole. And dude, you're like, how can that be fun? Anything's fun when you're drinking as a young guy with other men. You go mud, you just spit up all this, man. It was a blast. Anyway, so this is mind-boggling. In my remembrance of mud bog, going to a mud bog. All right, so right here, this is from Facts and Figures from Social Security from 2021, the most recent data set, 2021. And actually, I think it says the next one will be available. It said it over here someplace in 2023. You're just going to have to believe me on that. Maybe it's over here, right here. I can't remember. But you just have to trust me on that. All right, so anyway, this is the most recent one for 2021 that was published in 2022. Beneficiaries by age. Now, I did a live stream yesterday where I made a mistake, which makes this even worse or better, however you want to look at it, interesting. And I'll share with you here in just a second. More than 4/5 of all old age survivor disability insurance beneficiaries and current payment status of people who are currently receiving benefits were age 62 or above. All right, so 80% of the population is receiving some sort of OASDI, that's old age survivor disability, and old age is just retirement benefits. We're over 62, including 24% age 75 to 84 and 9% age 85 or older. About 11% were persons aged 18 to 61, children's and whatnot. Children benefit primarily. Another 4% were children under the age of 18. So we got children's benefits, disabled right here. Yeah, disabled survivors, dependents right there. Okay, gotcha. So about 11% were age 18 to 61, which were disabled survivors and dependents. Another 4% were children under the age of 18. So not many children under the age of 18. And quite a few, not a huge amount, but 11% were people under the age of 61. But notice, only 24% were aged 75 to 84, and 9% were aged 85 or older. That's it. That's a big deal. So remember, once you're on disability, you go to your own retirement benefits. So there's really no disability benefit once you're over your full retirement age, if that makes sense. So once you're above 66 or 67, you're no longer on disability. You're on your own retirement benefit. And that's so, I want to be clear there, because the only thing that's happening is you have spousal, retirement, or survivor benefits. That's it. That's it. Because children are off it. We're just talking about people who are over the age of 67 at their full retirement age are on spousal, survivor, or their own retirement benefits. And the vast majority can be their own retirement benefits. And so I did this chart. 44%, so basically 7% are between the ages of 62 and 64. And where I made the mistake was I said this was all retired workers, i.e. people receiving their own retirement benefits. No, it's all OASDI, all old age survivor disability insurance. Again, disability is somewhat minimal, but old age survivor. And that's spousal because it said it right there. Disabled workers, survivors, and dependents, current payment status, OASDI. I mean, look at this. 44% were between 65 and 75. 24% were 75 to 84. That includes survivor and spousal benefits. I mean, you see that drop off? Look at that drop off. It went from 44 to 24% of recipients were aged 75 to 84. That's huge. What caused that drop off? People dying. I mean, and then over 85, only 9% were over 85. 9% of OASDI were over the age of 85 years old. That means 91% were under the age of 85, which meant very few people were surviving to 85 years old and getting Social Security benefits. Very, very few people. Which means, going back to the other video I just did, the likelihood of you surviving till you're 90 is just not there. Look at that drop off. 65 to 74, it fell from 44 to 24%. And then from 75 to 84, it fell from 24 to 9%. You're not going to live beyond 85 for the vast majority of us. So let me just show you this, and I didn't show this in my video. I wish I would have. This is a chart I just made. The male probability of dying versus age. So here's a male right there. 50% probability. If you're 60 years old today, 50% of you are going to die by the time you're 83. That doesn't mean at 83 you die. That means many of you died well before you're 83, by the way. 50% of men are going to die before they're 83. By the time they're 85, almost 60% of men are going to die by the time they're 85. If they're 60 today. It doesn't leave a whole lot of men still out there. And if we can go, we can show you how many men are still out there at 85 years old. So if we had 100,000 men at 60 years old, by the time they're 85, we only have 41,000 men left. That's it. And in women, a little bit longer, but still, right here, 86, I think, 87, 86. 50% of women die by the time they're 86. By the time they're 90, 66% of the women have died. By the time men are 90, 78% of the men have died. And that goes part and parcel with this right here. There's a significant drop off at basically 80 years old, essentially, for most people in their life expectancy. And you can see it's only going to get worse, man. I mean, people we're not eating well. We're putting too much crap into our bodies and relying too much on antibiotics, all kinds of medications. Are these things good? All the fluoride in our water, what's it doing to our brains? All the statins, what's it doing to our brains? What's it doing to our health? I mean, I don't have the answers for this, but the likelihood of us surviving because of technology till we're over 100 is just there's no evidence of that at all. If you want to just use pure numbers, yes, because a baby boomer is much larger than any generation previous. Thus, we have more people surviving until 100, but the likelihood of that being you is just not there. And then people are getting fatter, people are getting more stressed, eating worse. I mean, anyway, so it's just a talking to this guy yesterday, 61. He's like, I can't keep doing this. I said, and he's going to make over almost $400,000 this year. He said, I just can't keep doing it. I said, man, life is short, dude. Now, look, he got to do what he's got to do. But I'm like, walking away from a $400,000 job to retain your sanity. And, he had the assets to do it, of course. If he didn't have the assets, you got to keep working. But he had the assets. I said, dude, I'd do it. He's like, I know, but scary. I said, I know. I get it, man. I get it. This guy's very well credentialed. He's an inquisitive guy. I said, how many books have you actually read? Because he wants to read, he wants to study, he wants to learn. I said, how much have you read? He hasn't read much. because when he gets home from work, the stress is just, he's like, oh, I just got to veg and watch TV. It's the perfect system to make a bunch of wage slaves, man. It really is. And I'm just sad because I'm like, dude, you got so much. Your brain is operating on all freaking cylinders, and you're not putting it to use. And he knows it. And we'll see what he does, man. I hope he does hang it up, walk away from a $400,000 a year job, man. Well, anyway, that'll be your thoughts. We'll see you.